Hey guys, thanks for joining us back out here at the Range Report. And this is a little bit of a follow-up video to one that we did several months ago about a couple of Sccy Pistols that we had an issue with. We had done a promo, a little bit of a descriptive video for a YouTube short, just going through the line of Sccy Pistols, the CPX-1, 2, 3, and just showing you some of the features therein. And one of the pistols that we had featured in that video was the CPX-2. It's a double stack 9mm. It's got an internal hammer. And when we racked the gun and showed the operation, because we're just showing you how the gun functions, we put the gun away. We haven't even fired this gun yet. When we took it out the next day to actually go out and do a range report on it, the slide was locked. And I mean, locked. I mean, this thing was like, it was like if somebody welded it shut. And it took us a good bit of doing to get it freed up. And when we had done our own little examination of it, we were already in touch with Sccy as soon as it happened to let them know there was a problem and that we were going to, kind of self-diagnose a little bit. In working with Sccy, we figured out what the issue was. Now, this was a problem that Sccy had already corrected, except the firearm that wound up in our position, I guess, was already in the process of being shipped out and sent out as one of the new models. One of the old ones must have slipped through, and that's what we got. Well, after we sent it back to them, they sent it back to us. It was back and forth a couple of times. We said, hey, this is, we want to find a resolution to this. Joe Roebuck, the owner and operator of Sccy, actually gave me a call. I was actually surprised. I mean, he is a humble YouTube guy, and he is the owner of a big gun company, calling me up to find out how we could make sure to remedy the situation. Joe spent a few hours on the phone with us over a period of 2 or 3 conversations. Him, his engineers, making sure that the product was going to be, reliable, functional, safe to use, and eventually we wound up getting another CPX-2 back. Well, this was months ago. We still haven't been out to the range with it until today, and here we are with the brand new Sccy CPX-2, and this one, from everything we could tell, is functioning properly. We haven't had any issues with it. We're going to throw some rounds down range and see how it functions, and just to give you an idea of what you should expect from a CPX-2. Now, the whole purpose of the video that we made was reliability. As far as we are concerned, we don't care if you're spending $150 on a firearm, $10,000 on a firearm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to us. The most important thing that you have in your life is your life. And no matter how much money you're spending on a firearm, that thing needs to be able to work every time you squeeze the trigger, regardless of the price. Not everybody can afford to go out and buy a 4-figure gun. Some people can only, a lot of people, most people can only afford to buy something in the sub $300 category. Their lives are just as important as anybody else's is. They need to be able to protect themselves. When you have companies like Sccy that fill that niche of inexpensive guns, not cheap guns. There's a difference between a cheap gun and an inexpensive gun. Cheap guns, aren't going to work. Inexpensive guns, you expect them to. So Sccy did an awful lot to go out of their way to make sure that whatever problems they had were corrected and that it wasn't passed on to the consumer. We have a couple of their guns now. We have a CPX-2, and we also have, I can't remember the initials of this one, but this is their striker-fired version. And as you can see, this is, pretty much almost identical in size. You'll notice it's got finger grooves. This one doesn't. I don't like the finger grooves. It'd be a more universal fit with a flat face on it. But we have this one. Sccy originally intended, this has got an optic cut on it. Sccy originally intended to have these sent out with the option of having a red dot on it. Well, the company that they had supply them with the red dots was substandard. So Sccy terminated the contract. They said, listen, you find your own red dot, you put it on it. They would rather have you have the option to put your own red dot on it than sell it with something that was inferior. So, Sccy did the right thing there. But today we're going to run a couple rounds through these things and see how they go. 25 feet back, I got a reactive target over here. One of the claims to fame of Sccy is the Roebuck quad lock system, which secures the barrel to the slide in 4 specific locations, making it inherently more accurate than a free-floating barrel. The DVG-1, that's the name of it. Thank you, Steve. Steve's off camera making fun of me because I can't remember things. It happens when you get old. He's 4 months younger than me. He makes fun of me. But we're going to run some rounds through this now and see how it performs. It is worth noting that Sccy, unlike Kimber, actually sends their guns out with 2 or 3 magazines, depending upon which package you purchase. Kimber only sends 1. We just did a review of this, and we are annoyed that it only has $700 gun, 1 magazine. Come on, be like Sccy. 2, 3 magazines. It's a good thing. All right, so the Sccy Pistols come with a double stack magazine, 10 rounds apiece. So we got 10 rounds loaded in. We're going to take our target 25 feet down. You can see how well we do. Okay. We have a failure to feed on the hammer-fired gun. This is the CPX-2. We have a failure to feed. All right, that's the second shot out. All right. We actually have a magazine issue. That might not be a firearm issue. We have a faulty spring in the magazine that's not pushing the rounds up in the proper orientation. So you saw it here. There's no editing involved, there's no doctoring involved. We don't sugarcoat anything when we have a problem. You see it, we correct it, we explain it, and we keep going. So, same magazine, we're gonna see if we have the same problem. All right, the rest of that magazine fired through with no problems. Don't know if this was just this magazine. Maybe the follower might have got caught. We're not sure. So I'm going to run an additional magazine through the same gun, just so we can verify that it was a magazine issue, not the firearm. That's 10 rounds through on the second time, not a single hiccup. Now, the CPX-2 is got a nice heavy trigger to it. If you can master the double action trigger of a CPX-2, then you're going to be all right. It's likened to a nice heavy revolver trigger. It's not short and crisp like a striker fired. It's a long, heavy pull on it, but I'm looking at my target, it's really not that bad. Now, If you want a striker fired one and you don't want to break the bank, we got the DVG-1, which is this one right here. We got another 10 round magazine. We're going to run that through here. Thought I heard something click. It's probably one of the marbles loose in my head. All right, that's 10 rounds through. My last round got a failure to extract all the way. It was actually a failure to feed. Last round didn't feed all the way, got hung up on the feed lips. Granted, those shots that you just saw, the first 10 shots ever fired out of this gun outside of the factory. So, you know, we did take it apart, we did lube it, we did make sure it was all clean, we did our due diligence beforehand. We'll chalk that up to, you know, the break-in period. I'm gonna run another 10 rounds through it, and I'm gonna do it in a quick succession just to make sure that it cycles properly, so we'll be right back. All right, here we go, we're gonna run another magazine through the DVG-1. Now, before, I thought I heard something when I picked up the magazine. Now, most of the times we use the speed loaders over here because we're here right now. There's probably a dozen guns that we're going to be reviewing tonight. We want to get loaded as quickly as we can, and we use the speed loader. And we use a really nice one from, oh, I forgot who the hell it was. Really nice speed loader that we use from Caldwell speed loader. We use one of these mechanical devices. This thing really does make it easy. And this loads magazines perfectly every time. I loaded this one by hand before, and I just reloaded it now. So I'm gonna run these, and we're gonna see if we have that same issue again with the magazine, but we'll give it a shot. All right, so 10 and 1, didn't lock back on the last one. The gun cycled fine. No more sound coming out of the magazine. Not sure what the remedy for that is or what the cause is. That doesn't seem normal to me. But there you go, that's the DVG-1, that's the CPX-2. Both of them are operating a lot better than they were the last time that we had these. And yeah, not bad. I got 30 rounds in there, and it's, you know, it's about the size of my fist. So they're gonna get the job done. They're not all that expensive. You can get into a Sccy for anywhere between $2 and probably under $300. They work, they do what they do, but like anything else, get to the range, practice with them, break them in properly, and do yourself the one favor that too few people don't do. Your defensive ammunition, buy an extra box and run it through and make sure it functions properly, because you don't want to have a round in the chamber that doesn't feed, fire, or extract. So use your defensive ammunition, train, and like always, you guys be safe and shoot straight. It's Frank from the Range Report. We'll catch you back next time.